I mean, I think it's the greatest thing about life, like remembering that you have that choice. I think society, culture lets us know, this is what you have to do. This is what everyone else is doing. But
Yeah.
like, it's your life. You must never forget that. Like, you've been blessed, you have purpose here, and you can live at your own pace.
So
You're listening to the CFL Podcast, where possibility is at work. Here, we explore what it means to empower learners, connect communities, create impact, and help Nevada thrive. Each episode shares stories and ideas from the people reimagining what learning can look like in our community and beyond. Because when we learn, build, and dream together, anything is possible.
Okay, hello friends. I'm Jeanine Collins with the Center for the Future of Learning, and today I'm thrilled that I'm talking with my friend and colleague JimDre Westbrook, the Education Liaison Manager at Silver State Schools Credit Union. And just knowing him and working with him and getting to become friends with him, he is so much more than that title. And we share some really resonant values around the future of learning, what that means, what's possible for kids, our community, and the future. And so I'm excited to dive into this conversation today. JimDre, welcome.
What's going on, Jeanine? How we doing?
We're doing great. So
Good.
excited for you to be here today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
When I think about the trajectory of getting to know you, the work that you've done in our community, you continue to do in our community, something I've always appreciated is that there's just been a synergy around the values of making learning more human, about getting people things that they need and having it be relevant.
Yeah.
When you think about the future of learning, what does that phrase mean to you?
Man, the future of learning, it's a big phrase. I love that you said that, there's a human component to it. I think it involves definitely our kids, our students, but more of an ownership. I don't see any boundaries in the future of learning, or at least I like to hope that there aren't any boundaries. And when I say that, like boundaries that can limit us. Obviously, I know that there will have to be some things that need to be in place. But yeah, like a boundless, I say, educational journey. I think we need to continue to think outside of that box, continue to build the box together. And, I don't think we need to be focused on who's getting that credit. I think as adults, we kind of complicate that sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think the future of learning, I think the students, we can learn a little bit more from them on how they would like to be included into that whole process.
Yeah, so I want to circle back to some things you said, because you actually said a lot in that opening right there. And some things that are resonating with me are just, well, first of all, whatever we're building, how is there a boundlessness to it, a sense of unlimited possibility? I think often when we're engaging with young people in community and partners, like I think the barriers that exist are very clear to people, right?
Yep.
There's a sense of barriers. And so we know boundaries are helpful, limits create freedom, and in the same breath, we don't want to feel like we're not becoming who we can be because of those boundaries.
Yeah.
And I like how you said, let's build a new box together. So there's always a container for the work that we're doing, but it's different if that container is something that you're walked into and this is what you are confined to, or you get to decide and determine and build the experience that you have. So both of those things are really resonating with me. Why do you think those values are so important to you in your role and in your life?
Sure. I would say in my role, being someone who had to build something from nothing, I'm a builder. I like doing things more so, I guess, with my mind and my hands.
Sure.
My wife would probably say he's not a handyman,
Okay.
but I feel that I'm always building something with ideas. So I think that's very important for me because that's kind of how I connect with people. I'm very blessed to be a creative person. I think a lot of people don't have a good relationship with creativity or are afraid to see that creative side.
Sure.
I wake up and boom, ideas kind of come to me. So I feel if everyone can kind of embrace creativity, embrace that new box, that boundless energy, we'll be better because everybody thinking the same thing, I feel isn't going to get us where we want to go.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit more about your role that you've been building in. I have seen you build, and I think, there's a quote. It's the founder from High Tech High. His name is going to escape me, but High Tech High is a series of schools in San Diego. They're pretty well known for really helping young people unleash their creativity. And I think the quote is something everybody among us loves to build something from nothing. Like, it's such an empowering thing to do that, right? Yep. And so in my own professional life, the moments where I've been a part of that or engaged in that work, there's no roadmap when you're building something from nothing, right? And yet there are inputs. It's never fully from nothing, right?
Sure,
there's people, there's some resources, something is coming, but it's not shaped yet. And so talk to me a little bit about the role that you've been building and the work that you've been building at Silver State, because it's I feel like for you more than a job.
Sure.
It feels a bit like a calling, and you've been able to shape this work in a way that I think is really aligned with your values, and I think the organization's values around really meeting the community where they are with financial literacy.
Yeah, thank you. That really means a lot to me, because it's the best job that I've had, but it's because I don't really look at it as a job. Like you said, it's more of that calling, and it has purpose. So like when I got the job, we never invested into someone going into the classrooms, teaching financial literacy, that type of thing. It was just, again, an idea. So I used to be in the classroom at Chaparral High School for 4 years, working for Fulfillment Fund. But when I saw this, I said, you know what? I can do this, but just put a spin, financial literacy spin on it. Never actually did it, but I had the confidence to say, you know what? I like kids. My parents are retired college professors. Education has kind of always been a part of who I am. Let's go. Let's do this. And, I had an amazing report manager, Ralph, back me up to say, hey, Dre, whatever you want to do, just kind of do your thing.
Sure.
And, man, it's been awesome to take kind of that ideation, that idea, let me do financial literacy, but then also let's do some self-care, some self-love. Let's let people know that they have worth, that they have purpose. And it's not just a financial health thing, but more holistic health. So when you hear that messaging, it may be very new to you because you may not necessarily get that at home or at school enough. But when we come into the classroom, we kind of work with you on all things. And I take great pride in that. It starts with my parents feeding that to me, and me just being an extension of that, hey, I'm part of that village that is building this thing together, even though I might be a stranger and the kids kind of look at me crazy when I first come into the classroom. But second visit, third visit, like I'm their favorite person. Like they can't wait till I come back because I'm giving them that value, that ownership, that agency.
Well, and I think, there's what we do and then there's how we do it. And the work is really both, right? And I think that what I'm hearing you say that I have appreciated is, well, you're answering a need that we hear from community, we hear from young people specifically. So much of our work has been about engaging with young people, building vision and values and structures for the future that are rooted in the things they're saying that they need and that they can be a part of building, to your point. And financial literacy specifically as a skill, as a knowledge set and as a skill set is something that they speak about right alongside mental health and wellness. So I think it's pretty I don't know if it's progressive or it's just incredibly responsive to be thinking about how those things go hand in hand and showing up in classrooms around this content in a way that is very human, that it's not just about money in its lane in your life, but this integrated conversation around your well-being and how financial literacy helps you establish that. I love that. And I want to say that I'm curious to hear a little bit more for you to share, what are some of the stats around your work? How many classrooms are you in? And give me that vision level. And then tactically, what does it look like when you're doing this work that is integrated and holistic? Give us an example of some of the activities and the experiences that they have.
Yeah, of course. So, again, we started with 3 presentations.
Yes.
Kind of your, budgeting, your debt, and credit cards.
Yes.
Important stuff.
Sure.
But again, we need to talk about the holistic person. There are a lot of other things before you even meet that. Like, how is this person, home life when it comes to what they actually need and some of their goals, some of their dreams, some of their aspirations, and how that's actually connected to finances. So once I took a, look back to say, hey, this is where I want to go with it. It started with, again, those 3 presentations, maybe 3 schools working with us. This year alone, we'll have done 350 in-class presentations, over 350, when our goal was 250.
That's amazing.
And we're talking 2 people. So,
yes.
I started this thing, by myself, was blessed to hire someone, Bree. She's part of the team.
Yeah.
And now we have a department. I think a lot of times credit unions, what we do is in the marketing department. It's in the community engagement department.
Yeah.
And we're just like this little extension of that. But we have the investment. We have the trust to do the thing now on our own, with our own department, with our own budget. And one of the coolest things I think we do, 2 things. My favorite workshop, I think, is called Luxury for Less.
Okay.
It actually used to be called Love Yourself on a Budget, where we do this financial wellness mixed with self-care, just giving them that agency to say, hey, like, you are somebody, you are loved, you are cared for. And also, let's talk about how that's connected to financial literacy, financial wellness. And the other one is our financial vision board workshop.
Yes.
That one is pretty dope for the kids and for the adults. That gives them a financial picture of what they want to do for the year. So vision boards are cool. Yep. A lot of people put things there, but we want to be a little more intentional and bring that financial component to say, how can you get these things this year by learning some financial principles, by budgeting, by saving, doing all the things financially so they can really see like, yo, if I want to get a new car, there's some things that I need to do for this new car or this down payment on a new house, so on and so forth. So those are some of the things that we do on top of the Bite of Reality event. I have to talk about that.
Please talk about it.
The Bite of Reality event is a dope event where high school seniors, for the most part, get an opportunity to become me and you, adults. They get this profile. It's all digital, all on an app where they have an occupation, they have a family life, they have kids, and a credit score. So let's say you're a barista who's married to a carpenter, you got 2 kids, and your credit score is under 600. Finance your life.
Yeah.
And it's this thing of them buying a car, buying a home, buying groceries, and then this light bulb comes on to say, yo, I can't afford this stuff. So like, how do I make it work for the family situation that I have? And it's just cool, in the moment of them figuring out kind of some of those durable skills that we talk about of, I need to critically think this thing through. So at the end of this game, the simulation, I can have some money for my family. I can think about more than just me and how like all this stuff is tied together. There's some mind, games going on as far as the adults taking advantage of them financially, because that's just the way the game is played.
Sure.
But we teach them, like, when you go into the real world, these are some of the things you need to look at. These are some of the things you should be aware of so that they can use those durable skills to do it when it's for real, for real.
Yeah. I mean, I think that my educator brain is listening to what you're describing, and I'm just hearing, experiential learning.
Yes.
I'm hearing relevancy.
Yep.
I'm hearing immediate connection to purpose.
Yeah.
And we know that's what makes learning stick. That's what makes it valuable. That's what, 10 years from now, that's something they're going to remember when they think back to high school, that they had this experience, which I think is the point of learning, is that we're having those experiences that actually shape us, change us, challenge us, and equip us, right, to navigate the world and the world we want to build. Maybe the world that isn't the way it is yet, right, but the world that could be.
Yep.
And so I appreciate all of that, and that sounds like a lot of fun.
It is.
And it feels like that should be something every kid has access to, which is... I mean, listen, you started from scratch. And as a builder myself, sometimes when people ask me questions, sometimes I'm like, well, I'm not there yet, right?
Sure.
And so this question is asked in the spirit of, I'm imagining, I know from our conversations, you're getting really positive responses about the engagement. How do you think about scaling something like this? What are some of the thoughts that you have?
Yeah, I believe we're built to scale. It's definitely going to take more than 2 people. I think that as we continue to add and get more partnership and buy-in from the schools, I think we can take this thing not just here in Clark County, but the whole state. Yeah. One of the things I think would be great, we have a tool right now called eDynamic Learning. It's a partnership where it is a personal finance simulator, and all of the Clark County high schools have free access to that. So that's something that's pretty cool, where they can, maybe not do the bite of reality like physically, but do some type of gamification where they can learn those financial tools. They can learn all those durable skills and use them. So I think stronger partnerships, getting more buy-in for all of the admin, all of the teachers, like everybody in the school know that's even an offer. I think at times, it's cool that 10 schools know that, but like it's also offered and available for like the other 40 or 50. Well,
and there's state standards around financial literacy. Yeah, so this is really you're helping develop, I think, curriculum, experiences, tools, and I think also the way you're thinking, I see a lot of connection between the portrait of a Nevada learner. Yeah. You're speaking about the durable skills. You're hearing it here first, but I have some thoughts on following up with you now as I'm listening with a different lens of some resources that we've actually created recently as a statewide community around maybe ways to even tie that in so that we can solidify that even further. But I think that schools, so much of our work too, when we work with educators in schools and systems, I think they feel incredibly responsible for what happens with kids, right? Mm-hmm. And want the partnerships that you're speaking about, that I think our community has been speaking about locally here through the last couple months, through some strategic planning work the district has been doing, really saying we need career-connected learning experiences, we need partners to be in schools, and it's just going to require new pathways, right? Yeah. Because to your point, the boxes that we've built weren't built together in the past. So I think one of the questions I would have for you too is, what's one step you would love to be able to take in the next 3 to 6 months that you think could really advance the access to the work you're doing?
Yeah, I think the next 3 to 6 months, if we could, I think get access to, we have the access, but if everyone can come together from the admin level, I kind of spoke about that. And the last thing I said is that, when I go into all these schools, rarely do I see the principals, and I get it. They have a lot. Yeah,
there's a lot going on. Yeah,
a lot going on. But it would be really cool if they knew what the partnerships entailed. What we talked about, the relationships that we have with the teachers and the students. The ones who know love it. Like, for instance, Dr. Cordia at Nectar. Like, amazing. He's locked in. He's known about it, from the jump. So it's just a different feeling of when we can get that support, opposed to, we have a great teacher, but the admin, like, they don't know us, we don't know them. And I think the partnership would be even more beneficial if just everybody
it could scale across the school maybe in a different way. Exactly. You can think about, right? It's just like the layers, like what layer, you can always work at any layer, but if you can work in conjunction with multiple layers at one time, you can create more sustainability, right? Exactly. And that's something we think a lot about too. Yep. So I think as a community partner, right, and as somebody that also tries to be really responsive, we're always trying to be responsive through our work with the network and through how we engage with schools and communities. Is I think we're thinking a lot about how we can help be one piece, one partner in the building of those pathways. Yep. So I appreciate you lifting that up, because I think that's something we hear a lot from partners in general too, is everyone's doing their best to go where there's need and go where there's energy and like how could we all be more deliberate together about saying, we know there's all these resources. How could we build a pipeline so that everybody can get what they need faster? Which is really exciting. I think is work I'm willing to roll my sleeves up and do with you along with others I know that are ready to go. I'd love to just talk about the portrait a little bit, but I'd like to ask you about it because I think you said a couple of things that really hit for me in terms of helping kids engage with knowledge, young people engage with knowledge that also develops their durable skills, and teaching and creating learning experiences in ways where they're actually navigating problems. Like they're not learning things passively, but they're actually in a simulation, in a game that they care about, at figuring that out. What do you notice about young people in all of the experiences that you have with them? You bring a plethora of experience to the role you're in too. Like what resonates with you about the portrait?
Yeah, I think one of the things that resonates with me is the agency. I think learning that for the students that their choices, connect to outcomes, right? That they have a little bit of control to it. I think that's a really cool part. I can remember growing up, I didn't know I had that agency. It was like, hey, kind of do as you're told. This is the way it is. But with the portrait, like that's one of the coolest thing I think is that there's that connection and then also collaboration. Like I said earlier, I feel we all should be, doing this thing together, including the students. This isn't just an adult thing. I like those two pieces that really kind of stand out to me.
Yeah, I think those are two critical pieces to me personally about the work as well. One, that sense of that when you say agency and when we talk about that, it's that, there's things that young people, there are things that have been prescribed that we need to engage with. But how you move through it, ways in which you demonstrate that knowledge, how you can create more authentic assessments and show what you know in ways that are valuable to you and maybe your community. I think having the agency to be able to think through that develops those durable skills, right? And it's not just, okay, I'm going to check the box that my teacher's asking me to. And there's a recognition that maybe we're going to move through the learning at different paces because we not only have the agency to, but we have different needs, right? And we might find topics and content and ways to go deeper on things, which I'm not going to lie, I think is a lot to juggle thinking about redesigning systems that engage that when we are very standardized in our approach. And I know that moving at your own pace is something that is also... See how I did that? Is also something that is meaningful to you. And I would love for you to make that connection too, because I think it's just another layer of creativity that you bring to the work that you do, and that so many of our students have all of these hats that they wear as they show up in the world too.
So live at your own pace means a lot to me. When I was a student, I wanted my own clothing line. But as I said, my parents were college professors, and they did not want their son to be essentially a starving artist. They said, you don't want that type of life. I get that it looks cool on TV and in the magazines, but be a doctor, be a lawyer, security, all that type of stuff. But I've been this builder. I've always wanted to do something that I could not just be proud of, but like, there's a journey, there's a movement.
Absolutely.
And live at your own pace, which was called Simple and Plain back in the day. I had a business partner, his name is Dre.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there actually used to be three of us at one time. Yes.
Not even squared.
Yeah.
Tripled. Three of you.
Yeah, seriously. So when that happened, I said, you know what? I can make this happen. I just want to maybe learn from Dre. Dre T, as we call him. And I said, hey, when I got to University of Michigan, he just graduated. I just got there. I just want to learn, bro. So when one day I'll do my own thing, and I just want to learn from you. So we talked about, all right, go to the parties and pass out flyers and then answer emails. Got me all the way up to ownership. And there were 10 people at the time. I was the youngest, didn't really know much. But when it was time to move, we are from Michigan, and we said, hey, go East Coast, West Coast, New York or LA. Couldn't afford New York or LA.
Sure.
Long story short, Vegas is close to California.
LA.
Exactly. So I said, hey, let's go. I had $1,000, 2 bags, 2 boxes, and said, I'm living at my own pace. Like, if we want to make this thing happen, we can't just talk about it. We have to be about it. Let's build this thing together. And the next 20 years of my life are all about me living at my own pace. I mean, it's a clothing line, if I did not say that, but men, women, and kids, and it's all about you doing your own thing at your own speed. So I've always kind of moved at my own pace. My wife still probably says I move at my own pace when it comes to certain things. But it's the agency that we're talking about. Like, I have always advocated for people doing their own thing at their own speed because we all have purpose here in life.
Yeah. Well, and I think that what I love and what I love about that is you said we can't just talk about it. We got to be about it.
Yeah.
And that's even different than just doing
Sure.
it. It's being about it.
Sure.
And there's a level of like values alignment within you about the things that you care about and what you produce and then how you produce it that I think really resonates with me when I think about how we try to bring work to life at CFL and with our communities and our partners and to create spaces where young people have the opportunity to experience that agency, but to like follow the hustle that they care about. Yeah. Right? Oh, yeah. And sometimes, you know, I'll hear adults in different rooms say things like, well, you know, they have to, you know, can't always do what we love, right? Sometimes we have to do things we don't like. I'm like, right, but like, it would be great if all day, every day didn't feel like that and that we were prepping them to live in a world where they're going to be miserable. Like that doesn't seem like the goal either, right? And so what is the you know, how do we navigate the tension and the reality of being in a world and doing things maybe we don't want to do, but where do we have the agency? And also, I think when we have the agency to pursue the things we love, we end up finding ways to work really hard at things we care about. Yep. And I think that's a powerful invitation to make to young people. Yes. To make to any person at any age, quite frankly.
Yeah. No, it's super important. Like, yes, we have to work. Yes, we have to make money. But it should be enjoyable, right? Like, we should be going on this ride, on this journey, not alone, even if we, you know, are solopreneurs where we have this idea and you may not have that creative team. There's so many people who want to see you win and want to be a part of this, like, victory. Yes. And I think we have to, you know, remember that, because I think at times a lot of people feel, well, no one's in my shoes. Like, you will never understand. But I think if there is a little bit of humility and vulnerability, it will surprise you how many people would actually, like, just want to be down with that dream, with that goal, and be supportive and not have to steal the limelight. Like, I just want to just be in ride shotgun. Like, I just, whatever you need, even if it's just support, thoughts, prayers, that can get you across that finish line when you're running that race. So I just think we have to, again, be a little vulnerable in letting people know, like, this is what I'm into. This is what I'm about. And before you know it, there'll be someone to kind of help and guide and usher you closer to that goal.
Yeah. And I think that what you're describing is, I think, very core to the way we think about learning when we're talking about the future of learning, which is that young people are able to connect with the things that they're good at, that they care about. Yeah. They're able to pursue those things, and that learning is constant. Yep. Time becomes the variable. And not that they're going to be surpassed or left behind, but that they're going to meet other people who are moving at their pace too, right? And they're going to find those right collaborators. Yep. And sometimes there'll be people moving at a different pace and they're going to pull you forward, right? Oh, yeah. And then there's going to be people that make you pause, and that's important too. So I think, you know, unpacking our relationship with time and how we think about time in school, in our lives. I love this concept of living at your own pace, because it just reminds us that we actually do have a choice about how we live. Oh, yeah. And even sometimes it may not feel like we do, we actually do.
Yep. And it's, I mean, I think it's the greatest thing about life, like remembering that you have that choice. I think society, culture lets us know, this is what you have to do. This is what everyone else is doing. But like, it's your life. You must never forget that. Like, you've been blessed, you have purpose here, and you can live at your own pace.
So we started off talking about financial literacy. Yes. You're the Education Liaison Manager. It feels like we have expanded the conversation, but I think on purpose, right? Because I think what I have appreciated about you, and we said this in the conversation, the way that you are tying together financial literacy with a larger conversation about wellness. Mm-hmm. Young people are craving this with everything that they're coming into contact with, right? And especially we know developmentally, like, high school age kids, middle school kids are like, who am I? How do I fit into the world? How is what I'm learning going to help me figure that out? How am I going to be a better human? How am I going to live? So it's no surprise that this conversation has kind of made sure that we've touched on all of these things. Now, if I wanted to hear more from you, I might be able to do that on the Financial Seeds podcast, which, by the way, I was a guest on. And surprised me, not in a like just our conversation surprised me because I think I was like, oh gosh, I really have to come and prepare about the portrait and the future of learning and financial literacy. And our conversation really felt like one of the most favorite that I have had, actually, about the vision of learning that we're pursuing and what it means and how it connects to communities and kids and families. And I think that that's a gift that you have, is to really be able to take this conversation about financial literacy and help it spread its wings to things that matter, to all the things that matter to people. So tell us a little bit about where this podcast came in and where we can find it.
Sure. As we were building the thing, it's always, I guess, been on the list that, hey, we should have a podcast.
Yeah.
And, once it was brought to me, I had a little bit of, I guess you could say, experience in that. I've done some things social media-wise, podcasts. I said, all right, I can do it, but we got to do it right. Like, so we cannot, half step. We have to come correct. And I believe we have something to say. So long story short, we got the we have a studio inside our headquarters. And
beautiful.
Yes, this is dope too. I want to, let you know that
that's great.
This is a really cool spot. But we want to normalize the conversation.
Yep.
Financial literacy, I think, is one of those conversations. Like, I didn't grow up in my household talking about this.
Yeah.
In my school system, we didn't have anything like this. So we're really trying to normalize a conversation around financial literacy that might talk about purpose, that might talk about wellness and all of the things, but it's rooted and grounded in, how financial literacy is a conversation that should continue, right? This isn't this one time the talk type of conversation. Like, we need to be talking about this every single day, because money is involved in all of everything, like every element, education, family, relationships. It's there. So it shouldn't be scared. We shouldn't be afraid of it. So we've kind of like put our hat in the ring, talk about financial literacy, wrapped up season 1 last year. We're found on all social media platforms, anywhere where you do podcasting and season 2 coming soon.
Oh, I'm excited.
Just had a meeting today, and we'll be back in the booth, in the studio very, very soon for season 2.
Oh, that's great. Well, as we wrap up this conversation today, I think, you're a dreamer.
Yes.
And you're a builder.
Yes. Right?
And so you're not afraid to build the dream. You figure out how to go resource the dream with energy, with money, with partnerships. Let's wave a magic wand.
Okay.
And it's 10 years in the future here. What does the future of learning look like? Because of the work you've been doing, because of the work partners are doing, because of this vision that we're hearing from our community, what's happening in that future?
Wow. In 10 years, man, like, I could see, definitely here with Clark County, I know the, destination district, what we're building. I could truly see that coming to fruition. And not just a statement, not just a cool, slogan, right?
Yeah.
Like, I could really see us, being that type of, district, where people are looking at us as leaders. I think we do a lot of cool things where that are working.
Yeah.
But I think it would just be more integration. I know we talked a little bit about this on the Dream, session, but just very integrated, intentional partnership where people can look at us and we're like this well-oiled machine of, if you need this, it isn't, there's no more silos. Like I think that if we can move to that type of direction where like it's just it's free and creative, but there is a systematic, element to where like we know what we're doing. Like I can see that. I know we're making those strides and those changes. So there may be a little tension kind of right now. Like I don't know if it's working, but in 10 years, like I could think, Vegas will truly be that destination district where like we're doing it and we're doing it well.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful sense of possibility that you're sharing, and I think it's something that people believe, and I think it's in our DNA here in Vegas to build things, to be builders, to build things that didn't exist before, and to reinvent things that are ripe for reinvention. I think we've heard from our community that that's the desire, and I think the more I, feel very blessed as well to be in community with people like you and organizations that are rethinking their approaches to working with young people, families, thinking about the work that they care about, and taking it into a broader conversation. That is really a very human one. So thank you for the work you're doing. Thank you for your leadership. And thanks for this conversation today.
Oh, thank you.
Fun.
Yeah. It's always fun. I can't not leave without saying how cool you are, how dope you are. I'll always give you your flowers. I love everything that you guys are doing at CFL, and I feel very, very honored and blessed to be here today.
Yeah, thanks. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thank you.
You're listening to the CFL Podcast, where possibility is at work. Here, we explore what it means to empower learners, connect communities, create impact, and help Nevada thrive. Each episode shares stories and ideas from the people reimagining what learning can look like in our community and beyond. Because when we learn, build, and dream together, anything is possible.